It's Nakuetalefa and good morning to you people of the internet, and we come to the second part of one of my favourite serials in Doctor Who, one of my favourite serials of the revival, and my favourite story by Stephen Moffat. And thankfully, the second part finishes the story just as well as it started.
First, the cliffhanger is resolved beautifully.
Go to your room. Go to your room. Go to your room!
I honestly love this. You have an abrupt stop to the horror with just a solid line. It's hilarious. And I do think this is a bit of a commonality in this episode. The pendulum swing between horror and comedy, but it never swings so far into comedy that it takes you out of the atmosphere.
Really glad that worked. Those would have been terrible last words.
It's also very intriguing once we cross over to Jamie leaving and Nancy's reaction. It's a solid addition to the mystery, making us begin to see her role in all this. We get to see Jack open up as the con man he really is, begin a few efforts to lull us into a false sense of security in the hospital, and we get to see Nancy's tough side once she's caught by the Lloyd family.
Food on this table.
It's an awful lot of food, isn't it, Mr. Lloyd? A lot more than on anyone else's table. Half this street thinks your missus must be messing about with Mr. Averstock, the butcher. But she's not, is she? You are. Wire cutters, torch, food. And I'd like to use your bathroom before I leave, please. Oh, look. There's the sweat on your brow.
Man, she's a great character. Mysterious, tough as old boots, just fantastic. When the trio investigate the room Jamie was taken to, the sense of security is broken beautifully.
This is its room.
Are you my mummy?
Rock solid horror. Honestly, this build-up of security only to have it shattered makes for some of the best scares in these episodes. And it still has time for a little bit of comedy there too.
No!
Mummy!
Don't drop the banana! Why not? Good source of potassium!
And it continues with Jack and the doctors back and forth during the escape. It's as if they're trying to brag to win over Rose, and it does make for a good release of tension during the chase sequences in the hospital.
What? It's Sonic! Totally Sonic! I am Sonic A Sonic what? Screwdriver!
Who looks at a screwdriver and thinks, ooh, this could be a little more Sonic?
What, you never been bored?
There's got to be a light switch.
Never had a long night? Never had a lot of cabinets to put up?
But that feeling that you're not safe just keeps keeping up, even when the trio lock themselves in a storeroom, and when Nancy finds the kids. The sudden control of the typewriter and the omcom of the radio work as some solid tricks of psychological scares. The story builds a solid atmosphere worthy of a horror film. And it's a real shame Moffat didn't seem to have any more iconic Scary Who stories when he became showrunner. Not to say he didn't write solid stories at the helm, he wrote plenty, including the 50th anniversary special. But nothing really seemed to challenge the peak scariness of this or Blink once he took over the show. As for Captain Jack in this episode, it's awesome how the episode has reversals of how we're meant to perceive him. In The Empty Child, we think he's this wonderful time traveller, suave, elegant heartthrob, until he outs himself as a con man. Then here he beautifully bounces back, building solid chemistry with the Doctor and building on his other chemistry with Rose, opening up a little more about himself. And of course the reveal of his sexuality at the crash site. No wonder he managed to establish himself as a fan favourite character. And he is a delight to have at conventions. I've already talked about my experience with him at Geddon, but if you want to see another great site of John Barrowman, look up Auckland Armageddon Copacabana. It's absolutely brilliant. We do get a bit more of an island of safety once we arrive on Jack's warship, but the episode's terror builds back up as Nancy is caught at the bomb site and entrapped with someone showing symptoms of the gas mask virus. Nowhere is safe, and it's made clear at the bomb site when Algae transforms with very little sign of symptoms in front of Captain Jack and the crew. I do like Nancy trying to keep Jenkins sleeping with a lullaby. It reminds me a little of their iteration of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the Dead Space games. Then we come to the reveal. the nature of the virus. It's a brilliant idea. And I think this is actually a great template for a particular plot point that Chris Chibnall likes to use in Doctor Who, but he's just screwed up every single time that he's used it. There's nothing wrong with the thread of the episode being revealed to have a non-sinister intention, but it still needs to feel like a threat after that reveal.
What they're programmed to do, they patch it up. Can't tell what's gas mask and what's skull, but they do their best. Then off they fly, off they go, work to be done. Because you see, now they think they know what people should look like, and it's time to fix all the rest. And they won't ever stop. They won't ever stop. The entire human race is going to be torn down and rebuilt in the form of one terrified child looking for its mother, and nothing in the world can stop it.
And this, Chris, is how you do it. Not with a Stitch-type creature that never really felt like a threat, or a universe that turns into a ruddy frog! And the reveal inspires the final push which finally redeems Captain Jack. His vengeance, no matter how justified, is laid bare before him. He understands the consequences of what he's done, and it was time to put things right. I guess on reflection, he's more of a Flynn Rider than a Gaston. Then finally, Nancy reveals the truth. Jamie, the child, is her son. Jack teleports to the warship to get the bomb, as the Doctor inspires Nancy to bring her son back. It's a nice, simple moment. Good music, good performance from Nancy, and just a joyful atmosphere at the curing.
Welcome back! 20 years to pop music, you're gonna love it.
The episode gets a great happy ending and a wonderful victory for the Doctor.
Everybody lives, Rose. Just this once! Everybody lives!
Finally, the atmosphere lets up. We feel some degree of safety and a nice reference to the end of the war and the best government Britain ever elected from Eccleston. And as Captain Jack is rescued from his soon-to-be-destroyed ship, we get a wonderful little dance track and scene inside the TARDIS. I love this song. Who says you can't have fun with the oldies?
Well, if you couldn't tell, I love the story just as much as The Empty Child, and I'm still looking for new reasons to love it every time I watch it. Well-written story, some amazing performances, and some great comedy alongside some really solid horror, The Doctor Dances makes for an excellent second part to this serial. This is not just one of the best episodes of Season 1, this is essential viewing. If you're looking for some episodes to dip your toes in, as it were, make sure that this and The Empty Child are on your viewing list. That is how essential they are. And with that, that's another Doctor Who review done and dusted. When I next go into Doctor Who, we'll get to meet my second favourite classic Doctor, reunite with my favourite companion, and meet another excellent Doctor Who foe. But until that time, goodbye, Haere Rā.